In my previous video about WPA3 and WPA2, I talked about in general why you want to switch to WPA3. In this video, let's talk specifically about UniFi access points. In UniFi network controller, if you go to the Wi-Fi setting, security, under security protocol, you can see multiple options. WPA2, WPA3 are there, and then you have the corresponding enterprise option, right? And then you have another option which is WPA2/WPA3. It's kind of interesting. In this video, let's talk about them in details. I'm going to use two different Wi-Fi clients, a pretty recent Mac machine. It does support both WPA2 and WPA3. The other one is a very old Mac. It only supports WPA2. At the same time, I use another Mac machine to capture the Wi-Fi packets. Later, we'll display the captured packets in Wireshark. Let's see what's the difference among different Wi-Fi settings. I'm going to try 5 different Wi-Fi security settings: WPA2 3 personal, 2/3 personal, and 2 enterprise, 3 enterprise. I'm going to use this type of screen layout to show all the 3 Mac machines side by side. This is the UniFi network controller for my lab environment. As you can see, under Wi-Fi settings, I configured 5 Wi-Fi SSIDs. They are configured in very similar way. Let me pick this WPA2/3 as an example. For the convenience of capturing Wi-Fi packets, I only enabled 5G, and under the security settings, for this particular SSID, as the name suggests, I picked the WPA2/WPA3, right? For the other 4 SSIDs, I have the corresponding settings. There are 2 things I want to mention here. First, for WPA2 or 3 personal, you have an option to say WPA2 or WPA3, right? Later, we will explain how it works. But for enterprise security, you don't have options which says WPA2 or 3 enterprise. You have to choose between WPA2 or WPA3 enterprise. That's a major difference between personal and enterprise when it comes to UniFi security settings. The other thing is, if you check the WPA2 enterprise, you can see for PMF, you have 3 options. By default, it's disabled. If you are interested, you can do more research about what is PMF, but later we will see how it's represented in the Wi-Fi packet. Then if you check the WPA3 enterprise, you can see for PMF setting, you cannot change it and it's required by default. Here you have a warning. You may have a compatibility issue if you choose WPA3 enterprise. Okay, so those are the 2 things I want to mention. They are both related to enterprise security. Let's first look into the captured Wi-Fi packets, about the capabilities of each different Wi-Fi setting. It doesn't matter which version your Wi-Fi client supports. When it tries to connect to a SSID, it will first scan the channel and find out the available SSID. Here, for this example, my Mac machine found multiple SSIDs, and for each one, it will send out a packet which is probe request, and then the access point, in my case is the UniFi access point, will reply. The corresponding packet is probe response. For each SSID, you will see such type of response. In the response, you can find out what the AP is capable of. So here on the screen, I show you 4 different packets for 4 different Wi-Fi security settings. The first one is for WPA2, the second one WPA3, third one WPA2 enterprise, the fourth one is WPA3 enterprise. Let's compare them side by side. I choose a probe response for SSID WPA2, expand the IEEE 802.11 WPA2 wireless management section, expand the tagged parameters. Under the RSN information, you can find the Wi-Fi security setting related capability. You can see the key management AKM suite count is 1, which means it only supports one flavor, if you will, which is WPA2 in our case. How you can know it's WPA2? Because it says PSK. It supports PSK. That means it's WPA2. If you check the exact same information, but for WPA3 packet, you can see it says SAE. I won't talk about the details about PSK and SAE. If you are interested, check my previous video about WPA2 versus WPA3. By checking this, we can tell the difference between WPA2 and WPA3 personal, right? Now let's check the two enterprise settings. The left one is for WPA2 enterprise. You can see here it says yes, it's WPA, and then compared to the one in the right, you can see it's using SHA-256. That's the enhancement in WPA3. That's one difference. And then if you expand another section, which is for RSN capabilities, for the WPA2 enterprise, you can see all the capabilities. They are 0. They are disabled. But for WPA3 enterprise, you see there are two settings. They are enabled. They are for the management frame protection. The setting on UniFi network controller, it says PMF required or disabled, right? These settings are related to the PMF setting on UniFi network controller. So basically, we can easily tell which one is for WPA2, which one is for WPA3, which one is for enterprise, which one is for personal. This is how we can tell by checking the captured packets. In the same way, your Wi-Fi client can also tell the Wi-Fi security settings. So then they can respond differently. Let's start with WPA2. On the screen, you can see for both the new Mac and old Mac, I already successfully connected to the WPA2 SSID. For the new machines, they are capable of connecting to both WPA2 and WPA3, right? There's no surprise there. But if you check the physical mode, you can see they are different. For the new Mac, it's using the 802.11ax. For the old Mac, it's using 11n. But it doesn't matter because the physical mode is not related to your security setting. As I noted on the diagram as well, it doesn't matter what's the physical mode you connect to the AP. The security works independently. Okay, so there's no surprise regarding WPA2. Let's quickly go to WPA3. For the new Mac, I already connected to the WPA3 personal SSID. As you can see, it's correctly showing up as WPA3 personal. Nothing's interesting, nothing's surprising. But for the old Mac, let's try to connect to WPA3, knowing it's not supported. Let's see what will happen. Okay, see here, it even doesn't bother asking the password. It directly show me no, the ZWPA3 couldn't be joined. If you want, you can try to click the button to run the diagnostics, but it won't tell you anything useful. You may think, okay, so when the old Mac tries to connect to the WPA3 SSID, it will try to connect, try the password, and it will fail. Then it will tell you it cannot connect, right? No, that's not what happened. So if you check the captured packets, here as you can see in Wireshark, in the filter part, I already filtered on the MAC address of my Apple machine. Here you can see there's no any other type of packets except for the probe response. It means the client, the Mac machine, has never tried to start the association, the authentication process at all. Because just by checking the probe response, the Wi-Fi client already know, okay, it doesn't have to try, it will fail for sure. So that's why you don't see any other type of packets captured. Move on to next setting, WPA2/WPA3. This is the most interesting setting. Let's see how it works. In the right side of the screen, you can see for the two Mac machines, I already connected to the ZWPA2/3 SSID. But if you check the details, you can see for the new Mac, it's connecting using WPA3 personal. And for the old Mac, it's WPA2 personal. They are both successful, but connected using different security setting. You may wonder how it even works from backend. Then let's check what's the Wi-Fi packets captured. So let's check the probe response packet from the AP. So it doesn't matter which Wi-Fi client you use, the probe information is the same for a given SSID. Just pick the ZWPA2/3 for this particular SSID. Let's see what's included in the RSN section. Expand the root and then go to tagged parameter. Expand the RSN information. See the interesting value here. For AKM, the switch count is 2. Remember when I show you the WPA2 and WPA3 personal, they both have the count 1, right? They only support 1 AKM, but here is 2. Why? Because in AP we said it supports both security settings. You can see at least what are those two. The first one, PSK, if you remember, that's for WPA2. The other one, SAE, is for WPA3. In this way, the AP tells the Wi-Fi client, okay, I support both WPA2 and WPA3. It's up to the Wi-Fi client to cherry pick, to decide which security setting to use to connect to the AP. That's why it's a very flexible setting. If you have a legacy Wi-Fi client, yes, it will connect using WPA2. If you have a new Wi-Fi client, if it supports WPA3, yes, WPA3 will be the one it uses. Okay, that's how the magical 2/3 is supported. Regarding WPA2 and WPA3 Enterprise, the settings are very easy. Even if you are just a home user, if you want, you can still use them. You simply go to Profiles. Under Radius, you set up a default Radius server which comes with your UniFi router. You don't need to install anything. Then you create Radius users, in my case, just one user. And then you go back to the Wi-Fi setting. Enable WPA Enterprise, choose your Radius profile. That's it. Very straightforward. But because it's out of the scope of this video, I won't spend more time on the enterprise setting. Okay, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.